Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First ride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, we're a united band.
All right, welcome here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com and the FloorHSFootball.com social media channels. I'm Josh Wilson along with Christopher Like here. One show down, our second one out of 5 tonight here. Here we go. Happy National Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. By the way, yesterday was National Coaches Day, so happy National Coaches Day belated to everybody on the coaches.
Yep.
So here we are to talk about some good old stuff in Southwest Florida with football and everything. And got a lot to get to here as we roll. Hold on a second. Oop, there we go. As we roll into our Blitz Lines as we get rolling here with everything here. And to talk about everything with that, looking back at some of our games that we talked about here on our picks from last week in our pick 6 and St. John Newman at Carrollwood Day. That was a closer contest than I thought it would be, but Carrollwood Day gets off with a win there in that one. And St. John Newman dropped with their third loss, but definitely not out of the playoff hunt by any means, Chris, for the Celtics there with St. John Newman.
Yeah, not really a surprise in Carrollwood Day, doing Carrollwood Day things, and they find another way to survive. So that's good on them.
No, absolutely. But as for all of us in our picks here from last week on this one, Immaculate and Lele, oh boy, yeah. We swung and a miss on that one, and that one was a tougher battle for Immaculate than I think a lot of people realized.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Immaculate picks up the win right there over. Lele picks up the win over there on Immaculate, and I'm just, it really just, I don't know what to make on some of these teams in Southwest Florida. I feel like it's like you go 1 minute you start to see a surge, and the next minute it's like, wait a second, hold on, pump the brakes here for a moment.
Yeah, you see that all across the region. It's not just for example, like Charlotte, or they started off hot and then cold. Now they're hot again. So, you look at it, it's like, okay, which version of these teams are going to show up?
Oh, yeah, that's the big thing. Brady Quinn for Lele was 16 of 27, 213, 4 touchdowns in that one. But not to say that Immokalee wasn't, everything. Cherlin Michelle, 2 touchdowns on 55 yards rushing, and Jaden Calgill had 245, 2 touchdowns. I think it's just end of the day. It's just Lele showed up with a big, strong defense and just kind of give Immokalee the trouble. By the way, Mark Cannon says Sarasota rolled Lakewood Ranch. Yes, they did. And that's hats off to your Sailors there, Mark. So good job to them as well as we roll along here. Looking at Booker at Sebring, that was a much closer game than I anticipated. It was 20-20. The score was 20-20 late in the fourth quarter, and Booker pulled that one out by the hair of their chinny chin chin on that one.
Anytime you can go to Sebring and pick up a win, that's a good thing because that's a difficult place to play every time you go there.
No, yeah, it's there's something about Sebring football, especially there at Fireman's Field there, that is just different there. But Booker picks up their 6th win of the season here, and they're on. They're a little cruising a little bit. They finished the game 27-20 in that game, so they won that one to make it their 6th straight win of the season here after that loss to Auburn, Alabama to start the season. Joel Morris 209 yards, 2 touchdowns in that particular game, and looking at Cypress Lake and South Fort Myers. I mean, you talk about Lee County football. This is where it's been an interesting year in Lee County, to say the least, in terms of some of the teams that expect maybe towards the top, maybe not so much the middle. Some of the teams that have worked their way to the top are there. One team that is actually who won 10 games last year was 10-3. Riverdale. We're going to have head coach Kendoll Gibson on here in just a few minutes here for the interview, and I got to tell you now about Riverdale. Man, they're already rolling here pretty solidly here this season as well, and I think the playoff positioning is looking really good. 5-1 so far this year so far for Riverdale. But Cypress Lake, looking at this game here, Cypress Lake, it's when we had Coach Menendez on from a few weeks ago, they were rolling. They were starting to build a hot streak, Chris, and they got to a 4-game win streak, but South Fort Myers kind of shut them down here. And when we were looking at it, you and Reno were kind of like with Cypress Lake, and I get why. But when we look at the other side of it here, South Fort Myers is starting to flex a muscle, and South Fort Myers 22-7 over Cypress Lake on that one.
Yeah, then that's going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that district shapes up and finishes out. Cypress Lake starting up pretty hot, and now they ran into a big roadblock. So we'll see.
Yeah, so now they've got Island Coast, Lemon Bay left on their district schedule for Cypress Lake. South Fort Myers is in that district, that district with Naples, and that's going to be interesting because all 4 teams are projected playoff teams right now. But if you look at it, they have that win over Estero, so probably should take care of Island Coast, Lemon Bay, win their district, Cypress Lake on their district in Class 3A, and then South Fort Myers looking at, again, playoff positioning in Class 4A. ING Academy Junior National and Sarasota Riverview. Sarasota Riverview just totally took care of it, just totally manhandled, basically, ING Academy Junior National, giving them their 3rd loss, and Sarasota Riverview is now 6-0-1. Yes, there's that tie. Unbeaten, but not undefeated by technical terms.
Yeah. Riverview doing good things there. We'll see how they shape up in the next couple of weeks.
As we got about 90 seconds left here in the Blitz Lines here on the Southwest Florida Blitz here. Looking at this, what we've got here on this one, ING Academy National, 27-14 over Venice. Venice played a much closer game than I thought they would, but it also speaks volumes to Venice, considering that we do have another Florida team to gauge against in terms of going up against ING Academy National, and that's Mandarin, and ING Academy National blew them out just a few weeks ago. Venice didn't allow such a thing happen here. That probably says that the gap is it definitely explains that the gap is much closer for Venice against ING Academy National than it ever has been for Mandarin.
Yeah, and we don't speak for themselves. IMG Academy, they're usually giant killers on tip powers. So, and
yeah.
It's not just here in Florida.
Yeah, no, Darian Jones for Venice, 204 passing a touchdown, but also had a rushing touchdown. That's where the scoring came in there. I think, the Venice played well. I'm interested to see what's going to happen this week when they go to play Sarasota Riverview here. That is the huge district game, a massive district game this coming week here. So keep an eye on that one. We'll definitely have our picks for that one on the Pick Six coming up here towards the end of the show here. And that's a look at some of the headlines and some of the stuff that we have recapping from last week in week number 7. That's hard to believe we're already going to week number 8, Chris.
Yeah, and that's where the nitty-gritty comes down to on the district play. So.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we'll be back here after this break here. Then we'll be setting up the interview with Kendoll Gibson, the head coach at Riverdale down in Fort Myers. We'll be right back right after this.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FortHSFootball.com. Joining us now for the interview is head coach Kendoll Gibson of the Riverdale Raiders down there in Fort Myers, sporting a 5-1 record, looking for another big playoff berth coming up here in the 2025 season. Coach, appreciate you taking the time to join us here on the show. And Coach, first things first, as we roll along here, what is the biggest thing you've learned about your guys this year compared to last year's squad that went on to win 10 games?
First off, how you guys doing, man? I appreciate you guys for having me on.
No, appreciate you coming on, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest difference is, and we're a completely different team. You know, the way we were able to do things last year, we go about it a little bit different. You know, my message to them is we can accomplish the same thing. It might not look the same way as we did it last year, but we can still accomplish the same goal. So just a different team, man. It's night and day if you ask me.
No, absolutely. And Coach, talk about some of the key guys so far here that y'all have had here on your team here that have made it the contributions this year. Obviously, you lose a few players, you gain a few players, as things happen. So talk about some of the guys that have made it the biggest impact for the Raiders this year so far.
Yes, sir. So Levinsky Blanchard, our big running back, he's returning from last year. Just a go-to guy, a bruiser that's been able to run the ball for us really good. We have a newcomer, a sophomore that we end up losing Cole Hayes last year, our beast running back, and he's been able to step in and kind of Cole passed the torch to him, learned under Cole, and he's been able to do some great things for us as well. I think both of them are about 550 yards apiece, so they've been able to run the ball. Was able to return 3 offensive linemen for us. So we wasn't completely wiped away with graduates last year. And on the defense, man, we returned 9 starters. So we got everybody. Got everybody back on defense, man. So offensive wise, Levinsky and Josiah's been able to hold it down, and the young brothers, we've been able to throw it out wide to them. So we got some pretty good guys.
So you guys have been on the roll lately. So you got Fort Myers this week, and a crucial district game is possibly a district a title contention game. Talk about your match up against Fort Myers and what you've seen out of them.
Yeah, man. Every time Riverdale play Fort Myers, man, it's a classic. We're going to get their best. They're going to get our best. But they're still deep in the trenches. They lost Kendoll. It was a sad thing for them to lose the big tackle they have, but they still got some big guys in the trenches. So just watching film and trying to match up with them, we still got our work cut out for us in the trenches. And it's Fort Myers, so they always have skill. They have Fred back there that can take one to the house whenever you give them the ball. So we're excited, man. Our boys are excited to come out and play them this Friday, but we'll be ready for them.
Yeah, you mentioned the other game you district. You had Charlotte, and you had a big one against East Lee County in district play. Talk about the importance of winning those district games.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I preach on it. It's a big thing. You always want to win your district games. We want a district title. Especially the juniors and sophomores that was with us last year. We felt like we accomplished a lot. And the district title was something that we was missing. So, our summer goals and their summer goals was to really come back and get that district championship. So that's been our goal all year. That's been our goal since the summer, man. And they're excited to go out there and play for it.
No, absolutely. And Coach, this week you've got Fort Myers on the docket here. And, when we're looking at it, Fort Myers has had their struggles this year. And that's, I guess when we look at it, I mean, what do you look for in terms of this game? Because, again, just because Fort Myers is down doesn't mean they're not going to play gritty and hard.
Absolutely. And that's been my message to the boys. Don't get caught up in the records. Don't get caught up on who they don't have or who they do have. Once Riverdale and Fort Myers play, it's always going to be a great game. And then you put the district title on the line, or, you put it up there, and you're going to get their best. So we're not really caught up in the 2-4 record or 2-5 record that they have. We know they're going to come out swinging, and we got to be ready for them. It's Fort Myers. You can't sleep on them.
No, absolutely. And, I'm looking at, next week, I got to know obviously, next week it'll be another challenge, obviously Cape Coral, and Cape Coral, despite the fact that they've had a coaching change in midway through the season, they're rolling. So that's that. Do you feel like that'll be a good instrument, a good gauging stick as we get right here with the last few weeks remaining that are left of this regular season?
Absolutely, man. We talk about it with our coaching staff. These last 4 games, man, are going to be real tough for us. We have Fort Myers this week, Cape next week, Cape Coral the following, and Lehigh, one of our biggest rivalries the last week. So, we got our work cut out for us. We definitely got to be locked in and ready to go. And, man, we looking forward to the challenge of the second half of our season.
No, absolutely here. And what is the biggest thing here when you look at Lee County football and Southwest Florida football? Tell us like 1 or 2 things would be like, say that would be like what makes it fun for you, but what's also the 1 or 2 things what makes it the challenge for you? Because I know that sometimes it's because of the way the landscape is. It's like, hey, a lot of the schools are closer to the coast, but once you get further away trying to find opponents, you have to take a little hike to get maybe some games outside the area.
Yeah, well, one of the coolest things about the area, it is a smaller area. So, a lot of the kids grow up playing ball together. So once we get them, they already have like a chemistry. But it's a gift and a curse of being so small, just because, when you include the private schools, we have 21, 22 private schools. So a lot of our talent is spread out. So, when you look at the challenges of just the landscape of Southwest Florida and the amount of schools we have, we do struggle in that aspect. But, it is what it is, No,
absolutely.
So talk about Marquise Young and Theodore Harris. How are those two contributing on offense for you, and what do they mean to the program?
Oh man, just to have Theo's been in the program for 3 years. I brought Coach May over from South Fort Myers to run my offense, and he's been able to learn and grow under him. Been able to develop him. It's the second year in the program. He's a senior now, and then bringing over a speedster like Marquand, and we've been able to have a balanced attack. Our bread and butter, we're gonna run the ball, but just to be able to kind of spread guys out and throw one over the top and do different things in our offense, man, has uh, been able to work wonders in our offense and just make us more dynamic. I think that was the missing piece of last year. We just had to pound the rock, and teams were able to stack the box, but just being able to go wide and throw the ball, man, it makes our job easier and it's fun to watch them.
No, and I gotta say, you brought up Coach Willis May, and he's a heck of a coach. And a lot of people, if you don't know the story behind Coach May, he was at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas before he made the transition from the East Coast to the West Coast. Went to South Fort Myers, obviously now with you there at Riverdale. What is the addition of a coach like Coach May has been to your staff? Because I mean, he's had his own journey, and just to have a coach like him and what he has done here in the state, it's impressive as well.
Man, he's awesome, man. I call him my second father. He's my mentor. I learned so much football from him. I was his offensive lineman coach at South Fort Myers. So just to be able to have him side by side with me, pick his brain, and just, man, I call him a offensive guru because it's nothing he can't block, nothing he don't see on the field. And just, like I said, just to be able to be right beside him and watch him work and learn from him, man, it's helped me out a lot, man. It's definitely helped my coaching career, and just to be with a guy like him, man. He's an awesome guy, awesome family man, and I got a son as my defensive coordinator. He's my best friend, my right hand man. So just to have the Mays a part of my staff, and it's I can't say enough about him.
I mean, you kind of, thing where I'll lead on to another question here real quick, Coach, as we start to wrap this up here. I mean, what has your coaching journey been like? Obviously, you just mentioned, you were with at South Fort Myers. What is your coaching journey? What has the path been like for you in going through all this to get to where you're at now here at Riverdale?
Oh man, it's been awesome. I've been blessed, man. It's been short but sweet. I think I started off at Gateway Charter for a year, and then I was able to spend 3 years with Coach May. But I was just able to learn a lot from him. I think he expedited my process just from being able to learn from him. And I've been in the county 5 years, so I was able to just upgrade. And I just it's a testament of just me being a student of the game and just learning under guys like Coach May.
Absolutely here. And boy, I mean, it's getting interesting here. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously you tell the boys not keep the noise away from you and everything and that, but how do you as a coach keep the noise away from you as well?
I mean, it's tough. It's hard sometimes. I've heard from a wise coach before. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. So that's how I try to approach every week, every season, every game, and I try to instill that in the boys. You're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. And just if you can stay like that and work that way all the time, you'll be successful. I told the boys coming in this year, man, we're not the 2024 team. We're 2025. We got to go get it ourselves. And I think up until this point, they took on the challenge. We had a hiccup with the Cypress game, but they bounced back and they're more hungry than ever now. Sometimes you need those things to happen.
I didn't know if I wanted to touch that as a sore subject or not, but what did you tell them after that loss? Because I know that, that's, for a lot of football teams, they use that as motivation.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we used it for, man. And they need it. I always say sometimes we need to be recalibrated as humans as well. So, we call that a recalibration phase in our program. We knew we could have played better. But Cypress came out, man. They was ready to play, man. And Coach Mendez had them ready to play. But we're definitely focused, and we're back on, on our journey.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Coach, any other questions, Chris, before we wrap this up with Coach?
Coach. Talk about the region as a whole, especially with Charlotte, with Manatee sitting up there at the top. What's your outlook on the region and the regional playoff?
Yeah, man. I think we have some tough opponents, man. Even when we was inserted in our district this past year, last year, just to have Fort Myers and North Fort Myers and these teams that you got to go through every year. Then you got a Mockley, Cape Coral's in there, and then Manatee. Our goal is just to get better every game, get better every week, and we play our best ball and let the chips land up where they land. But we'll be ready. We feel like we had a great summer workout. We had a great off season training. So we fall back on those things. But we are in a tough district, tough region. But we looking forward to the challenge, man. We're gonna try to be the best version of us that we can be.
No, absolutely, Coach. And appreciate you taking some time to talk to us about Riverdale football. Definitely looking forward to watching y'all do what the remaining 4 games left on the schedule. Obviously, Fort Myers always a tough one, no matter what the record is. And then Cape Coral next week. And then, of course, as you said, the next 4 games, that's going to determine where y'all be standing out here come towards postseason.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me on. But, yeah, we got our work cut out for us, but we looking forward to it.
No, absolutely. Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you, and have a great night, my man.
You too, guys.
All right. That was head coach Kendoll Gibson joining us from down there in Fort Myers, the head coach at Riverdale High School. And, honestly, Chris, again, I expect Riverdale to be, potentially, at least the top 4 seed in their bracket here, the way they've been playing. But, again, as he said, they got their work cut out for them, especially, Fort Myers, you got to throw the record out on that one because the Green Wave can be pose a threat no matter what the record says. And then Cape Coral, Cape Coral's playing some lights out football too. So at the end of the day, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, Riverdale, one of those teams that you can't sleep on in the regional playoffs, and they're showing it early on. It'll be interesting to see how they build up on that momentum, especially for the next couple of weeks, especially with Cape Coral coming out.
No, absolutely here. All right, as we get ready to go to break here, we're going to come back and we're going to do our pick 6 for week number 8 as we roll along here. You're watching the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloodHSFootball.com. We'll be right back right after this.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught!
All right, welcome back here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here. I'm Josh Wilson along with Christopher Like here, and good to have everybody here as we roll along in this one here. And Chris, it's getting almost time for something here. Let me cut the music there on that one, but I think I know what time it is. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
Wrong button there. What did I do? There we go. It's time for the pick 6. I'm just having fun field day with the buttons tonight. That's my fault. It's time for the pick six here for week number 6. And as we roll along here quickly, as we do this each and every week here, you can make your picks, put it up on the on the chat box here, and we're going to go to our pick six here. And let me make sure that I've got it right here on the thing here. All right, there we go. First up on the docket is South Fort Myers, 4-2 at Naples, 5-1-1. Chris, where do you roll with your pick on this one here for tonight?
Yeah, I like Naples and at home. They're just a little bit better than South Fort Myers right now.
You know, I think Naples is going to – the forecast you see, Naples is 13 over South Fort Myers here, but I feel like the margin of victory is going to be a little bit closer than that, just the way South Fort Myers has come out here. South Fort Myers could have had a win over Port Charlotte, so just take that in stride here as we look at that. I'm going to roll with Naples, but don't be surprised if South Fort Myers pulls up the upset. All right, Sefner Christian 6-1 at Out-of-Door Academy. Sefner Christian 6-1, Out-of-Door 6-1. The forecast 3 over Sefner Christian. Win probability is set at the Out-of-Door 60%, Sefner Christian 40%. Where do we go with this?
Well, this is a very good matchup, and I think it's going to be It's going to be a very close game. But I'm going to go through the door and go outside the door and go out of door with this one.
Yeah, Reno's going out of door. He took Naples, by the way, as well. ODA, I think, is a good SSA matchup right here, but I feel like out of door is playing well, and this will definitely bolster that ranking that they have carried the last couple of weeks. We'll see tomorrow when the rankings come out from the Florida Power Rankings Index fully where the rankings will be, but it's got potentially sitting there out of door number 1 again in the SSA 11-man league, and if they win this game, they could solidify and verify that number 1 ranking is no fluke. As we see Mark Cannon going Thunder, and then Emery's going to Thunder as well, and Emery Smith also went with Naples as well here. All right, up next is Riverdale, 5-1 at Fort Myers, 2-5. Riverdale 44-point favorite in this one. Riverdale 100% win probability. As we said, throw the records out the door on this one. This one could go either way potentially.
Yeah, throw the records out, but I think Riverdale's still going to win pretty comfortably. It's a lot closer than the projected score says.
Yeah.
But, give me Riverdale.
Yeah, I'm going Riverdale as well. Reno will go Riverdale as well on this one here. And we're going to get into the other district game here, 4A12 here. We had the first one. This is the second one that we're going to talk about here, and that is Port Charlotte 5-1, Dunbar 5-1. The Pirates are an 18-point favorite. Port Charlotte, 94% win probability on this one.
I kind of agree with this one here. Port Charlotte's a much better team than Dunbar, despite what the record says. But yeah, give me Port Charlotte in a big way.
Yeah, I think Port Charlotte will win this one, but Port Charlotte almost coughed it up here a couple of weeks ago against South Fort Myers. Reno is taking Dunbar on this one, and I don't think that's a far off possibility. That could be tighter than what the forecast is calling for. Port Charlotte, again, 18-point favorite, but we'll see what's going to happen here. I think this game is going to be much closer than what the forecasted line is calling for here, Chris. I really do.
Yeah,
All right. Huh?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Going backwards there. There we go. Our fifth game is Riverview Sarasota 6-0-1 at Venice 3-3. Riverview is actually 11-point favorite over Venice right now in this one. You could probably understand Venice has had its struggles up and down. I don't know if Venice has a clear identity right this second. That's my issue there. I don't know if Venice has a clear identity. Riverview 6-0-1, Venice 3-3. Where do we go?
Yeah, I can't figure Venice out. So give me Riverview Sarasota on the road to win at Venice, which is not going to be an easy task. It's going to be closer than that. So give me Riverview.
Reno's going Riverview. Y'all are going Riverview, but I'm actually going to go against the computer. I am taking Venice on this one. I think Venice can win this one despite the struggles. We'll see if Venice can pull this off. So I'm going to go against the computer on this one and see what happens here. So, and that seems like the chat is agreeing on Venice here. So let's see what happens here. And our final game up on the docket is Lakewood 7-0 at Cardinal Mooney 5-1. Cardinal Mooney is a 12-point favorite over Lakewood. boy, if Cardinal Mooney, Reno's already taken Lakewood. I don't understand. I'm just going to let him hang on that one right there. So I'll let him hang on that one. We'll see if Lakewood is actually up to the task on this one. But Cardinal Mooney, the Cougars got a big win over Carolina Central Catholic last week, and that's why I feel like the computer is giving them a 12-point favorability here.
Yeah, Lakewood going into the game undefeated, but they will come out of the game with a loss on their record.
Yeah, I feel like the same way as well. I feel like they're going to have a loss on their record here, and we'll see how that rolls here. And that is the pick 6 for week number 8. Hard to believe we're at week 8. Where did the season go so far, Chris? I can't seem to figure it out.
It's going too fast.
Oh, absolutely here. Why is my button not working there? No, I'll just do it this way. Yep, and it is going too fast here. And some people are saying Lakewood as well, but Cardinal Mooney, they're picking Cardinal Mooney. It's a tough one, and that's a tough game there, to say the least, here as we roll along here. But any final thoughts here as we wrap this up, Chris?
No, I'm not talking trash at Lakewood. I just think that they're I think Cardinal Mooney's just a better team right now.
No, I think that's the case here as well. I think it's going to be one of the situations where we're just going to have to see what happens here and with that case. But as we wrap it up here, boy, it is going to be an interesting week 8 here. And the biggest question is, see if Venice can find an identity and see what Cardinal Mooney and Lakewood do. I think those are the two biggest questions coming out of this tonight.
Yep.
No, absolutely here. Well, it is time to wrap this up. We appreciate everybody joining us here on the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz. We'll be back here in about 11 minutes here for the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz, where we have head coach Jeff Panucci from Melbourne joining us. The Melbourne Bulldogs 4-2 on the season so far, looking pretty good for a playoff spot. We'll talk to Coach coming up here on our Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. We'll be right back. Thank y'all for watching.
Thank you.